Hi, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Industrial Boot Camp series. This episode is titled The Fridge. My name is Kerry Rose, and I'm the Industrial Channel Account Manager for the Southeast. Also presenting today is Marty Regan, Industrial Channel Account Manager for the South Central, and Nick Wysong, Technical Sales Engineer for the Southeast, South Central, and West. In this episode, we're going to explore the connected control cabinet. Our reference to the fridge, of course, is William the Refrigerator Perry. Perry was a defensive nose tackle, but he was famously turned into a running back in short distance goal line rushes. With the connected control cabinet nearest to the edge of the network, we can now utilize its proximity to house network equipment to get to the edge. However, that's not what the control cabinet was designed for. Next slide. The control cabinet is the gateway to the edge, but the control cabinet was designed to house and support electrical infrastructure products, not necessarily low voltage communication products. Whether the electrical enclosure is new or is being retrofitted with communications equipment, care and consideration for the low voltage equipment communication systems designs has to be top of mind. Typical considerations include both security and safety. Who is allowed to access and work in the control cabinet on network communications hardware? Are they properly trained to enter a control cabinet? Do they have the proper PPE training? Considerations also need to be given to the environmental conditions within the control cabinet, such as EMI, RFI, and the operating temperatures having most severe effects on the communications equipment and network. Most control cabinets are not designed for future expansions, and they're built to save footprint space on the factory floor. Thus, placement and routing of communications cabling and its associated communications hardware within the control cabinets needs to address proper electrical separation. The control cabinet makes standard structured cabling, such as permanent links, difficult to deploy. And because we are now at the edge of the network, disruption to the machine level devices is highly likely when working on active communications equipment. Next slide. The connected control cabinet operates at cabling subsystems 1 and 2. At the edge layer, the severity or the harshness in the environment will require products that can operate within that environment. Also at the edge layer, transition points in the cabling system are used more frequently, and point-to-point cabling strategies are needed. Such devices or products include bulkhead adapters with IP65, 67, or 69K ratings, shielded connections, shielded cable, stranded cable, which provides high flexibility, but also note you have to derate the run length. Different jacket types like polyurethanes, thermoplastic elastomers should be considered for protection of the cable from chemical or climatic effects. Cable or cord operations may require a 600 volt rated jacket. I'll now turn this over to Nick, and Nick's going to discuss the placement and design elements within the connected control cabinet.
Thanks, Gary. The control cabinet sits on the factory floor and falls in level 1 on the Panduit model. It can house several different components such as PLCs, HMIs, motor control drives, and the occasional industrial switch. With all these devices becoming smart, the need to be connected brings new challenges that we did not think about before. Panduit has come up with several different components to help those devices stay connected in a clean, professional manner. Some of those components include DIN mount fiber and copper patch panels, field term copper connections, 600 volt patch cords, and a capacitor-based maintenance-free UPS. Panduit has also come up with several devices to help with safety and security inside the control panel. For security, we have lock-in and block-out devices that stop people from unplugging patch cords and moving them to different ports, or blocking them from unplugging patch cords and moving them where they don't belong. For safety, we have a new data access port and a very safe, which is an absence of voltage detector. Marty?
Thank you, Nick. In episode 10, we discussed the copper cable infrastructure from the industrial network zone enclosure to the control cabinet via a permanent link. We also reviewed a few edge deployments from the control cabinet via bulkhead fittings and adapters. In this episode, we'll highlight some internal solutions that can save space, reduce noise, and provide a network-ready cabinet, whether a new or retrofit application. So looking at the middle of the slide at the upper left of the cabinet, The networking infrastructure is in a dedicated space and will serve the Ethernet-enabled controls, drives, sensing hardware, and will be exposed to all mice impacts. The pathways throughout the cabinet via shielded wiring duct can minimize the noise on data cables. Cable protection solutions like harness wrap, cable clamps, flex duct, and mounts provide bend radius protection and strain support for network cable that extends to the cabinet door, to the data access ports, and our bulkheads. Identification at both ends of the cable is critical within the cabinet, as most of the pathway is hidden and hard to trace. By addressing all of these aspects, you will ensure high performance and reliable network infrastructure within the control cabinet. Next. In this episode, we discuss the integration of the control cabinet into the architecture at Subsystem 1. We will continue with the TIA model next time as we review some key solutions that support a robust network deployment throughout the subsystems. Next. Thank you for joining today. Join us for episode 12, titled The Best Supporting Actors, as we discuss supporting solutions throughout the network infrastructure. Please feel free to share these short recordings and reach out to your local territory account manager or contact one of us directly if you need further assistance. We will also post this on our LinkedIn pages as a format to share as well.